Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for coming. This is sort of a exciting news for us at New Jersey Transit today. And first, I'd like to thank my board chair and NJDOT Commissioner Diane Gutierrez-Gaschetti for joining us today. Congressman Donald Payne, who I think you all know represents the 10th Congressional District, but also is very important to us as he serves on the House Committee on Transportation Infrastructure, and particularly serving as a chair of the subcommittee on railroads, pipelines, and hazardous materials, a critical position for us and for anyone in any railroad in the nation. Of course, I'd also like to welcome our partners in the private sector who have helped make today's announcements possible. Rob Kowalski, the U.S. President ad interim, Global Head of Regulatory Affairs, and the U.S. Head of Global Drug Development at Novartis, and Sharif Shaban, Catalan's Vice President of Strategic Ventures and Global Partners. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone at both Novartis and Catalan for their generous contributions and support. Today, New Jersey Transit is proud to introduce a major new initiative to both help and encourage as many New Jerseyans as possible to receive COVID-19 vaccinations. Through the generous contributions of Novartis and Catalan, beginning today, NJ Transit is able to offer up to 2 complimentary round-trip tickets for travel to and from vaccination sites within New Jersey for approximately 11,000 customers receiving their COVID-19 vaccine. These tickets will be offered for bus, rail, light rail customers throughout NJ Transit's mobile app, and offline by visiting one of our customer service office locations or calling our customer service hotline at 1-973-275-5555 to maximize access to vaccines for customers without a smartphone. Tickets are also available for certified Access Link customers online through the new Access Link mobile app, and offline by mentioning the program when calling to make an Access Link reservation. This effort is the second phase of our original VaxRide initiative, available at njtransit.com/VaxRide, where you can also find all the details on how to participate in the program. As some of you may know, this webpage includes state vaccination registration information and a map linking all of our services to vaccine sites across the state. This information is searchable by address as well as by clicking on one of the vaccination icons on the map. Search results yield the bus routes, rail lines, and light rail lines within a half-mile of vaccination sites. VaxRide has already proven to be an essential tool for New Jerseyans looking to get vaccinated. It's been viewed by nearly 30,000 times since launch in March and is receiving more than 300 visitors a day. Here at New Jersey Transit, we want everybody to have access to the life-saving vaccines being administered rapidly throughout the state. NJ Transit itself has administered more than 2,700 vaccine doses to our employees at clinics at our Maplewood and Camden facilities. In addition, through partnerships we've developed with Walgreens, University Hospital, and local county and state governments, we've made thousands of additional appointments available specifically to New Jersey Transit employees at vaccination sites throughout the state. Beyond these efforts, we have taken extraordinary measures to protect customers and employees. From industry-leading cleaning and disinfection to PPE vending machines to technological innovations like How Full Is My Ride, which informs customers how full their bus or train is before they board. You can get that right on your app. It's easy to use. We think there is no better example nationally of how a transit system should respond to such an event. We also think this partnership shows that NJ Transit is exploring every possible option to ensure that all New Jerseyans have access to the vaccine in support of Governor Murphy's statewide vaccination goals. We believe vaccines will add yet another layer of safety to the many measures we already have in place and build and restore confidence with our customers that transit is indeed safe. The VaxRide program is a great example of how public and private sector organizations can work together towards a common goal and deliver for New Jersey's residents. Partnerships and commitments like this don't occur overnight. NJ Transit has been working with Novartis and Catalan for the last few months to develop this program that we're so proud to announce today. I would like to acknowledge also Vaughn Williams, our Chief Marketing Officer, who led this effort at NJ Transit under leadership of Anthony Greco, our Senior Vice President for Communications and Customer Experience, with significant support from our finance and IT teams. And while we're very grateful for the commitments made by Novartis and Catalan that makes today's launch possible, there are still opportunities for other companies to partner with NJ Transit to expand this current program. Interested potential partners can reach out for more information by emailing us at vaxride@njtransit.com. Once again, thank you to Novartis and Catalent for their generous support and civic leadership, and thanks all of you for joining us. At this time, I'd like to turn the floor over to someone whose leadership and support of New Jersey's entire transportation system has been incredible and unwavering. New Jersey DOT Commissioner and my board chair, Diane Gutierrez-Cachetti. Diane?
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for inviting me to be here today. I do want to give a special welcome to Congressman Payne, not only for being here, but for his tireless support of transit in Washington, D.C. It has been extraordinarily beneficial, almost what I would say crucial, to the success of New Jersey Transit over the last several months. Also to our partners at Novartis and Catalent, I want to thank them for stepping up and making a program like VaxRide a reality. These programs are not easy to put together, and for those of you who cover New Jersey Transit with any frequency, you know that our last meeting we had some speakers talk about the need to provide these rides. Well, I'm happy to say long before that meeting, the staff, under the leadership of Kevin and Anthony Greco and his team, had already begun the process of developing a free ride program for those in underserved communities and those who have transportation issues, for whatever the reason might be. We understand the importance of having those individuals have easy access to a vaccine, and not one ride, not one round trip, but two, because we don't know what vaccine they'll get. And so it's important that we make sure that they don't only get that first shot, but they get the second shot, because that will be what allows people to feel confident about coming back to transit. We have gone through extraordinary efforts over the last several months to keep our trains clean and safe, to make people feel comfortable that getting on a train was the right thing to do. But changing that mindset in the context of the last 13 months will take time. The vaccine is making extraordinary difference for us, not just here at Transit in the state of New Jersey, but across the country. It has given the governor confidence to announce a lessening of restrictions in the coming weeks. We need to stay on the concept of getting a vaccine. You know, I'm going to tell you a little story about my son, who doesn't necessarily want a vaccine. He's 28 years old, and beyond being invincible, he's like, what about the side effects? And I reminded him that when he was not able to talk, I shot him full of vaccines, and he's fine. So my point is, yes, vaccines come with risk. They always do. But the reward here so vastly outweighs the risk that we need to go to our doctors, listen to our medical professionals, and get the vaccine. It has been a tough 13 months. We see places around the world that have not been as successful as the United States or the state of New Jersey in trying to take the pandemic on and conquer it. So let's be grateful that we have the medical technology and companies similar to Novartis and Catalent that are here with us today, and their technologies that make us well in so many levels. So I can't say that I'm going to take the governor up on getting a shot and a beer because I don't drink beer. But at the end of the day, those are the creative steps we're going to encourage people to get the vaccine. And so this step by Transit with this first 11,000 is only the start. We encourage other partners who want to participate in this extraordinary valuable program to contact Transit. The more people we vaccinate, the safer New Jersey is. The shore is upon us, the summertime is upon us. Let's make sure that we're able to enjoy that together and healthy. Kevin, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Commissioner, and it indeed gives me pleasure now to introduce someone who's always been a staunch supporter of public transportation, and along with the rest of his colleagues in the New Jersey congressional delegation, and particularly in this district, we've worked closely with the congressman in his office through the darkest days of the pandemic, when the essential workers, particularly in the Newark area, where the ridership was low, but it was the essential workers coming. Congressman's office was regularly in touch to make sure any help we needed and being able to get us through that transition, not just funding, but what we needed to be able to deliver, working with the mayor. And the Congressman can't thank you enough for that. So please help me welcome the New Jersey's 10th Congressional District Representative and the Chair of the House T&I Subcommittee on Railroads, Congressman Payne.
Thank you and good morning. It's a real pleasure to be here with Commissioner Garcetti and Kevin Corbett NJIT. Today we celebrate New Jersey Transit's new VaxRide partnership program. I want to thank NJIT, Novartis, and Catalent for their work to create such a great public service. Through this partnership, thousands of people will be able to receive the COVID-19 vaccination. It's a great example of how public and private entities can come together to benefit the common good. And it is tremendous how the public will be served by this great service. We need to do everything we can to get everyone vaccinated. We know that. It is the fastest way that herd immunity will have us reopen society totally. And this program will encourage more people to get the vaccine. We've made a lot of sacrifices to survive through this year. We had to work remotely. We had to keep our children home from school. And we lost the ability to travel and see our relatives. But it is time to support each other and get everyone vaccinated. That's why I got the vaccine early on. I wanted to show people that it was safe and effective. I know that if we can get everyone vaccinated, we can get rid of the mask that many of us dread putting on every day. We can stop social distancing and see family and friends again, and enjoy the social community events that we have lost out in the past year. That is why the VaxRide program is so important. It helps us put this global pandemic behind us and get us one step closer to the lives we knew before this pandemic. So thank you for the invitation. On behalf of the constituents in the 10th Congressional District, I want to thank NJIT, Novartis, Catalent, and New Jersey Transit for a great program to help our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. When I look at all you and I got the shot. We didn't get a free beer. We didn't get a free ride. So I'm like, what else more do we have to do to get people? I think next thing will have to be a foot massage or something to get people to die. I don't know what's left to do, but thank you. With that, now I'd like to begin with our lead sponsor on the VaxRide program, Novartis. Obviously, New Jersey, well known, and certainly a global pharmaceutical company. Obviously, one of the largest in the world, and it's their vision to become really valued and trusted, provider of medicines and medical services around the country, and we're very pleased to have them here in New Jersey. And I can tell you that with a very generous sponsorship donation of $120,000 to our VaxRide program, they have brought tremendous value in ensuring all New Jerseyans have access to vaccines in support of Governor Murphy's statewide vaccination efforts. I'd like now to welcome the U.S. President and Interim Global Head of Regulatory Affairs and the U.S. Head of Global Drug Development at Novartis, Rob Kowalski, to come up to the microphone at this time. Rob?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rob Kowalski, U.S. President and U.S. Head of Global Drug Development at Novartis. Here in the United States, Novartis employs nearly 16,000 associates, and our U.S. headquarters are just up the road in East Hanover, a few miles away. Our Sandoz division headquarters is located in Princeton, and we have a manufacturing site in Morris Plains, New Jersey, which manufactures one of the world's most technologically advanced medicines. In fact, New Jersey is our largest footprint in the U.S., and we call it home base for myself and 6,000 of my colleagues. I'm excited to be here today on behalf of Novartis as we join forces with NJ Transit and Catalent to launch the VaxRide program. This is a unique opportunity for us to help in the vaccination of many underserved and low-income communities across the Great Garden State. Despite the increasing availability of vaccines, some New Jersey residents are having a tough time getting to vaccination sites. We have a terrific opportunity today to help provide transportation that will enable our fellow New Jerseyans to get their shot in the fight against COVID-19. This is a critical factor for public health. We're proud of our sponsorship of the VaxRide program. We'll provide 10,000 rides to transport people to and from vaccination sites twice using NJ Transit bus, rail, light rail, and Access Link services. As a global healthcare company, Novartis is aligned with the scientific community that vaccination against COVID-19 is safe and effective, and really represents our best chance at beating the pandemic. We recognize that vaccinating a population is a Herculean task, but here in New Jersey, we are making significant strides. I myself was vaccinated at one of the Essex County vaccination centers a few weeks ago. I want to take a moment to thank our amazing New Jersey healthcare workers who from the very beginning of the pandemic have been on the front lines. And now in this phase of the pandemic, our healthcare workers who are delivering these very, very important vaccines. We believe the new VaxRide program will play a valuable role to further help vaccinate our fellow citizens, friends, neighbors, and loved ones. Since the beginning of the pandemic, we've had two guiding principles at Novartis. One was to ensure the safety of our associates here in New Jersey and abroad, and two, to ensure that our patients around the world would have continued access to our medicines that they need. Amid the pandemic, patients have relied on Novartis treatments for many devastating and life-threatening diseases, and we're grateful to our associates who have worked tirelessly on the front lines to ensure the uninterrupted supply of medicine, often in challenging conditions for them as well. We've also seen COVID-19 spur an unprecedented level of innovation and collaboration within the pharmaceutical industry, as well as across public and private sectors. Truly an unparalleled level of collaboration. Since the crisis began over a year ago, Novartis has swiftly mobilized our research and development capabilities, our manufacturing capabilities, clinical trial expertise, and philanthropic aid to play our part to address the pandemic on multiple fronts. Let me take a moment to share just a few examples with you. We recently announced our initial agreements with manufacturing capacity for Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine at our facility in Stein, Switzerland, and also for the CureVac vaccine candidate in our Kundl, Austria facility. So we are part of the manufacturing supply chain for the vaccines. Our CEO, Vas Narasimhan, is the co-chair of a consortium of life science companies with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to accelerate the development, manufacture, and delivery of vaccines, diagnostics, and treatments in a program called the COVID-19 Accelerator. Novartis is also committed to donating up to $40 million to support communities around the world impacted by the pandemic, and this includes $5 million from our U.S. Novartis Foundation COVID-19 Emergency Response Fund, which provides cash and in-kind donations for immediate response and recovery efforts related to the pandemic around the country. Right here in New Jersey, for example, this included support for the New Jersey Pandemic Relief Fund, and Novartis also donated PPE early in the pandemic to support statewide first responders, including hospitals, state agencies, nursing homes, and nonprofit organizations. Despite the challenges we still face, we do have many reasons to be optimistic. The COVID-19 pandemic has demonstrated that we live in an era of unparalleled scientific capabilities. Few problems are insurmountable when human resilience and open, collaborative science rise to the occasion. As the world recovers and rebuilds in the aftermath of COVID-19, I want to assure you that Novartis will continue to be part of reimagining a more innovative and healthier future. Once again, we're very excited to kick off the VaxRide initiative to help our fellow New Jerseyans across the state get vaccinated. If you haven't been vaccinated, go out and get your vaccine. I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here today, Kevin. We're a truly global healthcare company with a worldwide footprint who is truly proud to call New Jersey home. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rob, for both you and all your team that have really worked so well with us. Really appreciate that. And now I'd like to introduce a representative from our other contributing sponsor, Catalent, also a global healthcare company. Their mission is to develop manufacture and supply products that help people live better and healthier lives. And I can certainly think of no better way to help people live healthier lives than with their generous $12,000 sponsorship donation to our VaxRide program, helping to provide access to get people to the vaccination side for those in need. So please help me in welcoming Catalent's Vice President of Strategic Ventures and Global Partners, Sharif Shaban. Sharif?
Thank you, Kevin. It's an honor to be here today on behalf of Catalent, and it certainly is a privilege to stand alongside so many outstanding partners, including NJ Transit, Novartis, and so many state and community leaders who are all united and focused on increasing access for COVID-19 vaccinations to all New Jerseyans. For those of you who do not know us well, Catalent helps develop and manufacture medicines that are used to treat everything from cancer to the common cold, powering many of the world's leading pharma and biotech companies. We produce over 70 billion doses of medicines worldwide each year, or 1 out of every 20 doses taken globally. And while we operate over 45 manufacturing sites around the world, Catalent is proud to call New Jersey home, with our headquarters located just a short drive from here in Somerset. We've grown a lot over the last decade, and today we're playing a significant role in the fight against COVID-19, working on more than 80 COVID-related compounds, including antivirals, diagnostics, treatments, and some of the biggest vaccine programs. It brings everyone at Catalent great joy knowing that we're helping to make a significant impact on health of those of us here in New Jersey, as well as across the United States and around the globe. With the VaxRide initiative, we continue to be part of the solution and help all of our fellow New Jerseyans have the opportunity and transportation necessary to get vaccinated. The last year has indeed taken a heavy toll in our communities, but we've also seen many heroic actions by frontline workers in our healthcare, transportation, and other public sectors. This has been truly remarkable to witness, and we owe them a huge debt of gratitude. We also have many reasons to be hopeful for the future. The steady increase in vaccinations and programs like VaxRide bring us one step closer each day to crushing COVID-19. And Catalent is certainly proud to support this important and innovative initiative. Thank you again.
All right, thank you, Sharif, again, and certainly appreciate just being right down the road in Somerset, where I lived for so many years when we first were married. And with that, I'd again like to thank the Commissioner, the Congressman, and as well as our partners from Novartis and Catalent. And with that, be happy to take a few on-topic questions now. Larry? No, I think phase 3 is TBD. I don't want to give away the press. We need to have another press event for that. So, but I think as you've seen what Governor Murphy has done, very measured. Sometimes you'll be criticized about how we've rolled out the vaccine, but we look at where the rates are dropping. You see what's happening. We see people coming back. We see our ridership returning. More heavily on bus, but we've seen the last few weeks where it's coming up in rail, and comparing with our colleagues at Amtrak, they've also noticed a real uptick. So we'll see how we progress through phase 2. But certainly we want to be fully prepared. I think, Larry, you've heard me say it, that people who are coming back who haven't been riding for last year are going to notice a very different NJ Transit than they rode a year ago. I'm looking at a brand new Arctic just going by. You've seen a batch of them just going by now. The ones that have the USB ports, all the stuff we've done on technology with our app. Aside from those that are, COVID specifically related measures, just in general, the other things I think is going to be very different feel as people come back. But we want to make sure they feel it's safe to come back, and there are things we're looking to do as ridership comes back to reinforce that message. As far as using different facilities, transit facilities, we certainly make any of them available to Department of Health. They have the overall macro picture of where it's most effective, how they want to disseminate. which is why we have our program where you can actually get on our app or on the computer and look how you can use public transit to get to the existing vaccine sites. But if they feel they need more sites and any of those beyond the ones we've already provided, we'll certainly make those available as DOH would require. Obviously, as I mentioned, we work with University Hospital right up the road, so that's why we have used our Ferry Street facility on weekends. So we have made those available, and we work with other local partners to see where's the best point for them to do the distribution. Okay, if nothing else, thanks very much, and thanks everyone for coming today.